Hey everybody, so today you are going to work on finishing up some things. You've got kind of like a bunch of ducks you have to get in a row in order to be able to start on your final copy of your Hispanic Heritage project. So here are all your ducks. You've got 5 of them. The first one is you have to finish brainstorming. So you're going to pull out that thumbnail sheet that we started last time. This is your brainstorming sheet. And how long this part takes, this step takes, is really dependent on what you have, the ideas that you came up with last time, any new ideas that you came up with before, and what you want to do. So for some people, they've got a few ideas and they might think, oh yeah, nope, I really like this one. For other people, they might look at their brainstorm sheet and think everything I thought of last time is absolute garbage. That's fine. That's totally valid. Artists think that all the time. If you are a person who decides that everything you made is garbage, that's fine. Just keep on brainstorming. Once you have landed on an idea that you want to make for your project, all right, so I've landed on this one. I'm going to do a kind of stained glass looking warm and cool butterfly thing from Inez Alvarez. Then you're going to move on to making a rough draft. Okay, so that's your second one. Make a rough draft in your sketchbook. So I'm not going to pass out any paper for this. You're just going to find a blank page in your sketchbook and you're going to make a rough draft. Your rough draft is going to be a whole page, so it's going to be bigger than your thumbnail because this is just a brainstorm, right? You can't get all your information that you need for your final copy from this. You're going to have more details. You're going to have color options happening. Yes, you need to add some kind of color, and you're going to need, to just like work out all of the things. Similar to when you're doing a writing assignment, this is where you came up with your ideas for your writing. This is just your first swipe at it, right? So this is the thing that your teacher would go at with a red pen and, hey, this paragraph needs to be over here and this, word is spelled wrong, except that I'm not going to go at your art with a red pen because it's going to stay in your sketchbook. Then you need to go to your worksheets from drawing and painting, and you need to make sure that they're all done. Now, this is going to feel like the most important thing because these worksheets are going to be a grade, but please notice this is step 3. Before you do the worksheets, you need to have your brainstorming done and you need to have your rough draft done, okay? So even though this is an important step, it's the 3rd step. You really should not do this first. So you're gonna find your worksheets from last time, or from the last couple of times, you're gonna find your color wheel sheet, you're gonna find your mark making sheets, and you're just gonna make sure they're all done. If they're not done, you need to finish them before you move on to step 4, okay? So for many of these sheets, it's just finishing the work. If you need to do the material testing grid, all of the supplies are on the drawing counter at the back of the room. You can go over there and just stand there and do it. You don't have to take anything with you to your table. You should only talk to me about this step if you were not here and you need one of the sheets. That's the only reason you should be talking to me about this part of the step, because you already know exactly what needs to happen for these, and I just told you where to find the supplies for this, okay? Now, if you need paint, you may need to come and ask me for paint, but again, this is step 3. So even though you're hearing that it's a grade and you're hearing that it needs to be done, do not work on this until you've finished brainstorming and made a rough draft sketch. Another thing about these is these are your tickets to having some supply options for your project. And we'll talk about that in just a minute. So make sure that these are finished. That's important, but it's the 3rd important thing. The first important thing is to finish brainstorming, and the second important thing is to make a rough draft. After you've done 1, 2, and 3, you're going to move on to step 4, which is bringing everything to me. So that means you're bringing your rough draft, you're bringing your brainstorm sheet, and you're bringing all of your practice sheets with you. So you're just going to bring the whole thing, your folder too, just bring it all over to me. I'm going to check off that you did this. I'm going to check off that you did these. I'm going to check off that you did this. I'm going to check off that you did this. And then I'm going to ask you questions about what you're doing. You're going to need to tell me, are you drawing, are you collaging, or are you painting? And then that's going to determine what kind of paper I give you. So once you've done that, I've checked you off my list. I've got my grades for you that I need to get, and you've shared your plan with me. Then you're going to have your final copy paper in hand. I am not opening any centers today. I am not opening any centers today. So once you have that final copy paper in hand, you're just going to draw in whatever your plan is in pencil. Yes, even if you're collaging, you can still draw in your plan in pencil. Next time centers will be open and you can get started. You might not get all of these things done today. That's totally fine. If you get all the way to number 3 and you realize that you have some work to do, work on that stuff. All right, you can do step 4 and 5 next time. Now, another comment about step 3 is not only are these a grade, but these are also your tickets to using liquid tempera paint, which is the type of paint that we use to fill this out, and to being able to dig around in the drawing cabinet and use all these different drawing supplies. That doesn't mean that you won't be able to draw or paint for your project. It just means that if you want to paint and this isn't done and you choose to not finish this, it'll affect your grade, but also you won't be able to use liquid tempera paint. You'll be able to use watercolor, but not liquid tempera. And if you choose to not finish this, again, not a good choice because it'll affect your grade and you have to get this done before you can start digging around in that drawing cabinet. Doesn't mean you won't be able to draw. It just means you'll be limited to the things that are in your table caddy. So if you choose not to finish these, that's up to you, but know that it'll affect your grade and you'll still have to get them done at some point in order to use all of that stuff. So again, important, but number 3 importance. The first thing you need to do is brainstorm, then do your rough draft sketch, then finish your worksheets, then bring it all over to me where we will have a conversation about what your plan is, and then you'll get your final copy paper. And again, centers are not open today. All you're doing with that final copy paper is drawing in pencil what you're gonna do. Then next time you can get started with the supplies in your center, or you can finish up steps 3 through 4 if that's where you get at the end of class today. So that's it. That's what's happening today. Everything will get passed out to you and then you can start in on your steps.